not be lucky enough to live in base reality. Rich, I swear that could be used as some type of pickup line at a bar, or something in some other context outside of Toastmasters on a fine Wednesday evening here. Moving forward, I'm going to spend a disproportionately short amount of time on what I loved about your speech and quickly move into areas for improvement. Rich, you have a masterful presence up here. You are well composed. You are confident. Your clarity in word selection, in language, greatly aided by the pace in which you speak, is fantastic. I mean, it's something for many of us, including myself, to aspire towards. I also really enjoyed the topic overall. A few other comments on that in a moment, but that's one of the reasons why I love coming to Toastmasters on Wednesday evening, is to get exposure to new topics, different topics, eccentric topics, quirky topics. I think this fits all of the above there. So thanks for sharing this different topic with us. Let's move quickly into opportunities for improvement. I think there was an opportunity to keep driving more clarity on the topic. I think you did a good job. You chose an extremely complex topic. I think you explained it well. But with that said, by the time you got to kind of the key point of how we might be living in a simulation, this might all be a simulation, I think a number of people still probably dropped off at that point. I think maybe that's where the visual aid could have been used more effectively, to take 2 or 3 different approaches to explain it from one approach, and another approach, and another approach. You had a little bit of extra time, so that's just one thought. I don't have a clear, easy solution to communicating a complex topic in a really simple way in a finite amount of time. It's something to think about, though, and think about how else the visual aids could have maybe shared an example of what you really, really mean by how we're all living in a simulation. Hand gestures. Overall, I think they're really appropriate, but there are a lot of them. You are gesturing constantly the whole time. Not necessarily bad. It creates for an energetic speech, an engaging speech. You're clearly passionate about what you're talking about, but I think it's worth being cognizant of how to more effectively deploy key gestures to kind of drive clarity and drive key points. Lastly, and I think this is the biggest point to me, and you can take it or leave it because I think it's debatable. Maybe ask a few other members or guests after the meeting, but with a little bit of the time that was remaining, I would have loved a conclusion that brought the humanity back into the topic. I felt that's something that was key, that was missing from my perspective. Arguable, kind of debatable, but I felt like it was a little bit of a cold, heartless vision of this simulation we're living in. Bringing the humanity back in of what the message, what the takeaway, what the key insight is for me, the choices that I make as a listener of your speech, how it impacts my life. I think that would be a key area for improvement. But with that said, fantastic speech, Rich. Thanks for sharing it with us.